Let's go through each one.
Alright, recording.
Okay, for the superficial muscles of the shoulder, the first one is the omotransversalis, which is the strap-like muscle here. And this is the part I said if you think about it like a hat, it helps me. So this would be the rim of the hat. And then the muscle right here, it will be if the arteries or veins injected, you'll see it underneath it, is the acromiodeltoid here. And so it originates on the acromion of the scapula and inserts on the deltoid, and it is the tip of the hat. And then the scapulodeltoid would be like if you're putting a feather in your hat, and it's here, and it goes from the scapula to the deltoid here. And then the latissimus dorsi is the muscle that is here. And it just wraps around. It was cut here. And it just wraps around and be underneath the cat's armpit. Would be where it would insert at. There. Latissimus dorsi. And then for the deeper muscles of the shoulder, whenever you reflect the cervical trapezius and the thoracic trapezius, you'll see that they connect along here, which is where the scapular spine is of the scapula, which is here. And if you think about where the fossa was on the scapular spine, you can think about the muscle name. So the fossa that's underneath this muscle is the supraspinous fossa. So this muscle here is the supraspinatus muscle. And then if you remember below the scapular spine, so here, was the infraspinous fossa. So this is the infraspinatus muscle here. And then the big muscle that is here is the teres major. That's under here, right here, so teres major. And then you have the teres minor. And part of it goes deep behind the teres major. And then you have the rhomboideus muscles. And those I cut through here, but they would be here, and then they connect right here, and it's hard to see them here. But these are the rhomboideus muscles, and on the original word list I had rhomboideus cervicis and rhomboideus thoracis separated, but as you can see it's hard to differentiate which one's which. In the cat and the rabbit you can, so whenever you're referring to them, you'll refer to them together as the rhomboideus cervicis et thoracis, and et just means and in Latin. And then the other rhomboideus muscle is here. It's been cut through as well. It's this strap-like muscle, and the other end of it's here. And it is rhomboideus capitis, and so like the word capitis implies, it goes up to the head. And if you followed it, it would go up to the back of the head. And those are the rhomboideus muscles. And then, if you recall from the reading, this is the serratus ventralis. And if you were to cut the serratus ventralis off, the shoulder would fall off. So it's really important to keep those on. And also serratus just means serrated. So you can see it almost looks like someone took a knife and cut like little holes in them. And then the subscapular muscle is whenever you're looking underneath, if you think about where the subscapular fossa was, it's just underneath the scapula here. This whole entire surface is subscapular muscle. And then for the muscles of the brachium, so the muscles that are connected to the humerus, try to connect them so it's easier to visualize. So here you had, again, your pectoralis descendens, and it's reflected. And then here you had your cleidobrachial, and it's reflected. And these are your pectoral muscles. It's harder to see because they're chopped, but they would connect to the pectoral muscles, and those are also reflected. And then once those are reflected, you can see a lot better. And this is also part of the pectoral muscles. You can see better the muscles of the arm. And so whenever the first one is the tensor fascia antebrachii, and that is this muscle here. And whenever you see the word tensor fascia, just think that it has a lot of fascia. And so whenever you stick like the probe under here, you can just see all this fascia. So this is the tensor fascia antebrachii, and it connects to the antebrachial fascia. That's why it's called that. And so then when you reflect it, you can see muscles that are even more deeper. And for the triceps muscles, those are the muscles on the lower part of the arm. And this muscle, the big one right here, it looks like it's split, but it's all a part of the same muscle, is the long head of it. And you can see the long head here. So it's the lower part of the arm. And then when you look underneath these vessels, some of yours may not be injected, but if you look underneath the vessels, right here, you'll see the medial head of the triceps brachii. So long head, medial head, and just think it's on the medial side. And then here you have the biceps brachii. And if you, a way to remember that the biceps brachii is here, is that, you know, your biceps are here. Because later you'll see the brachial muscle on the other side. So medially is your biceps brachii, and if you're going to flex for someone, that's what you'd be showing them. And then the aconius muscle is on the lateral side. So I'll go over the other lateral muscles first. So whenever you look on the lateral side, again, the cleidobrachial that was bisected. Here's the lateral head of the triceps brachii. This, again, is the long head. Whenever you cut through the lateral head, here you'll see, again, the medial head, and the medial head just goes all the way through to the other side. And then the aconius muscle, if it was bisected a little bit, you'd see is right here, and it goes, it's a little part of it's here, and it's shaped like a boomerang. And that's the aconius muscle. And then the brachial muscle is here. So again, you have brachial, and then when you flip it over, you have the biceps brachii muscle here. So biceps brachii is medial, and then brachial muscle is lateral. And then the coracobrachial muscle is that one I will show later because it's harder to clearly see it. But I'll show it in videos to come. And that's it for the shoulder and the arm muscles.